No matter the medium, all artists struggle with the same thing. We struggle with having more ideas than we can execute, with procrastination, with self-doubt, and we struggle with navigating the complexity of feeling as deeply as artists do. I love learning from other artists, not only to steal parts of their process, but also to help me inform how I want to live my life as an artist. And the more I study artists, the more I realize that nearly every successful artist I've looked at does this one thing. They develop a relationship with their inner world, they let ideas move through them, they become clear. And how do they do that? They write. And in this video, I want to share with you how you can utilize this simple but invaluable tool to sharpen your creative process and ultimately feel more fulfilled as an artist. I'll start with a common scenario in my own life as a filmmaker. I sit down to work on a project, but I end up staring at a screen and getting nothing done. Maybe I have something going on in my life in the background that's taking up a lot of mental space, and being highly creative just feels like the last thing I have access to. Or another scenario, I feel like I have all these different ideas and angles I could take in my work, but when I sit down to actually do it, I don't even know where to begin. And what I think this is in both scenarios is energy displaced in too many different directions. Working on anything creative requires our energy to be pointed like an arrow. But as life is, we often find ourselves pushed and pulled in too many different directions. I think artists specifically are the types of people that feel life very deeply. We're maybe drawn to the arts because it's one of the only ways we can make sense of all that feeling. And I see this as an amazing gift, but with this gift comes the burden. Often we feel things so deeply in so many directions that, again, our energy is extremely displaced. And that was me when I discovered this practice by accident. I had just graduated college. I felt completely lost in my life. I had a lot of ideas on what I could do moving forward, but these ideas felt all over the place. I was traveling, trying to figure things out, and I started to write as a means of vlogging my memories from the trip. And what happened by accident was the more I began to write and develop this practice, the more the path forward just felt clear. My inner world that felt so chaotic all of a sudden felt less chaotic. And again, all of a sudden, organically and by accident, it was as if I knew what the next steps were. And yeah, writing is an incredible way for new ideas to emerge. It's where we go to structure ideas and bring them into form, but even deeper than that, writing helps us clarify our inner landscape. And from that place of awareness and clarity, the work we do becomes clearer too. So what does this look like practically? For the sake of this video, I'm going to talk about one practice, and that is expressive writing, or what Julia Cameron, the author of The Artist's Way, calls morning pages. Different names for the same thing, which is sitting down with a journal and writing without filter. The idea with this practice isn't to write creatively or to make sense, but to get our messy thoughts out of our head and onto paper. You simply set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes and you write without stopping, and then you're done. That's it. There's literally no wrong way to do this. Even if you sit there and write nonsense and write about what you see in your room or write about how grumpy you are, that's doing it right. The only job here is to show up to the pages, because most of our minds are like clogged sinks, and this practice is what slowly and surely clears the gunk out of the sink. Through this practice, we develop a relationship with all those quiet voices in our mind and spirit that we might not even realize are hindering our ability to show up to our work. Whatever comes through, the through line remains the same, in that the goal here is simply to create a sense of awareness of what's going on internally so that we may show up to our work and to our life more clearly. And the invitation of this practice is to not fall into the same trap that I sometimes fall into, which is to expect the pages to make sense of everything all at once or in one or two sessions. This really works best when it's treated as a daily practice. The more we give the pages, the more the pages have an opportunity to give to us. If you think of one of your favorite artists, they most likely had a strong relationship with a writing practice. And even if they just use writing as a means for logging ideas, oftentimes what precedes our ability to create ideas is the willingness to identify what's going on internally. And especially in today's modern world where external stimuli and chatter are at an all-time high, this practice of unfiltered writing is an incredible antidote to the overstimulated and unclear mind. In a world that's so displaced energetically, a practice of energetic consolidation is so powerful. We are going from fragmented to clear, from dull to sharp. If you want to create your best work, consider modeling the greats. Pick up a pen, sit down for 10 minutes a day, and write.